And just like that, we are back on your screens, everybody. This is YOTV right here on SABC1. And today we are talking about Africans in the world of science and technology. But before we go into all of that, don't forget that, guys, we are still running our monthly competition. You're not the anti-bullying campaign. All you have to do is that unke pampiri ungole I am not a silent witness. Obori tega go Twitter and Facebook, and then you could walk away with a selfie stick. So once again, go Twitter, it's YOTV Live, and on Facebook we go by YOTV. Very, very simple. If you want a selfie stick and you don't want to use your hand, then you know what to do. Yeah. You know, sometimes your hand is like a selfie stick.
Yes, and it's short and it's not a nice picture. It's not a nice picture. But you know what? We still are talking about science and technology and women, African women more specifically in this career field.
Marvel, yes.
So Marvel,
what did you study?
Yes.
Well, for BSc, what the beauty about science is that it allows you to do a lot of stuff, right? So for my BSc, I majored in chemistry and geology. Okay. But within my degree, I also took physics, I took maths, and all of those other subjects, right? And then after I got my degree in chemistry and geology, that's when I decided, I knew that I wanted to follow geology. Yeah. And then for honors, I did applied geophysics. Okay. And then, yeah, that was something that I've always been passionate about. And then masters, I did petroleum geosciences. But what I want to say is that when you do sciences, you get a lot of options. Yeah. It's not like, oh, I'm going to do geology. They give you options, you know, like, so that by the end of third year, you actually know.
So when do you start measuring?
First year. By first year, you have your main major. They'll ask you, okay, what do you want to do? Say you want to do geology, for example. Then they advise you to take a second major so that you don't know. You might change your mind. You might fall in love with something. So, yeah.
Okay.
So here's the science of arts, or the art of science. Blue couch.
There we go.
YOTV brings you Blue Couch every single Tuesday right here on SABC1 Mzansi Show. And this afternoon we're talking about science, particularly girls in science. I know my friends from Education Alive have got a question. Let's start with you, Nande.
She says that they offer bursaries, and after you do well in your academics and stuff, you get an opportunity to work with them.
Yes.
So since I want to take a career in health sciences, does it mean that if I get the bursary, then do well in my studies, does it mean that I'll become a doctor in Sasol also? Does it?
As a chemicals and energy company, our focus is more on engineering and the physical sciences. That means chemistry, the geology, and also metallurgy. However, as a company, we do employ people outside those fields.
So, Diane, I wanted to know, is it true that us as Africans are falling behind in the world of science in terms of, you know, other race groups or other culture groups?
So that would be a very simplified and incorrect way of looking at things. Science develops at different rates, at different times and in different places. So, for example, when the Romans got to Britain for the first time, the British weren't particularly developed, and the Romans brought them technology on how to build roads and bridges. And in South Africa, there are areas where we have research leaders. We have people who have lots of experience, and South Africans have done well abroad, taking leading roles in international companies. And locally, there are specific areas. For example, the famous example is the heart transplant. It was a South African who led in that development. Yes, we are behind in other ways. And that takes work. It takes a lot of initiative to change that and to turn things around so that we can get more people being interested in mathematical sciences, for example.
Yeah.
So I know there's questions from our conversation center. Let's start with you.
I would like to ask Lundy, right? Like, let's say if like they're non-South Africans, right? Do you also give them bursaries?
We have different bursary schemes across the world because we present in more than 37 countries around the world. So we have a particular scheme just for South Africa, but we have other schemes like in Mozambique. We have a plant in Mozambique, and we have a different bursary scheme for that particular country. Okay.
And Diane, just before we go, what is a sure way to be successful as a science student? So, for example, like if I want to be a science student, but I don't like practicing my formulas, for example. So how can I make it as a science student?
So science is a very diverse topic. There are lots of things, and you can find a niche that you are interested in. Discipline's a big part of it. So you've got to identify what you want to work on, and then get into a routine of tackling the problems and the challenges and the learning and the discovery in a disciplined and routine way. Keep a diary and start small. If you work for half an hour, considering things, and then build up your momentum. But you do need to learn, so view it as a professional trying to learn how to work a working day. The learning and discovery doesn't end when the school day ends, and it's up to you to address those questions. Think about what you're working on and be positive and determined and focused and goal-driven to keep at it.
Yeah.
Keep motivated, to keep motivated.
And then Diane, for our friend who's Usnesik and other friends at home who have had to drop science because they didn't do so well and now that's affected their career options, what advice have you got for them?
That's a difficult question because the education system is not able to help all students in the same way, unfortunately. But I like to use the example of building a house. You can't build a house, you can't put the roof on until the walls are up. So discover where you're getting stuck. Go back. And perhaps if it's in the lower grade, discover how you can develop those skills even though you've missed out. It might mean adding a year to your career. It might mean finishing your matriculation and then doing the subjects further or even after school if it's what you really want to do. You've really got to want it though. You have to want it in order to see those dark days through when you're studying and the lights are out and even you might not feel that you're understanding something, but give yourself a chance because the brain's very interesting. The brain is something that develops. It's not a static thing. So don't assume that if you don't know something that you never will know it. Have confidence that if you persevere, you will actually be able to understand things better.
Yeah, I certainly understand science just a little bit better. I don't know the periodic table yet, but...
Yeah, and I'm not so sure if I'm interested in learning it, but it's fine. I will learn anything. Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you too, Londi, and of course our friends from Education Live. So there is a very simple formula for you and I. U plus I equals Blue Couch. Very simple. info@yo-tv.co.za, PO Box 16 Marvel 2109, or at YOTV Live on the Twitter streets.
Now, science and technology play a major role in development because of the technological and scientific revolutions that support economic movement and improvement in health systems, education, and in other areas of infrastructure in our economy. It's not all just about the periodic table.
And we as young people have the power to change the world through science and technology. These subjects allow for innovation and can create opportunities for entrepreneurs to start new companies. Creative economy is one of the most rapidly growing sectors in the world economy, but also a highly transformative one in terms of generation of innovation, income, jobs, and export earnings.
The question, though, is why aren't more girls getting into the world of science in comparison to the old days? Women have made a lot of strides in areas of education and in the workplace during the last 50 years. Before, it was all about the boys in the workplace, and now it's about the girls. But in scientific areas, the women's progress is definitely a lot slower. We need to figure out why. And girls need to understand the different opportunities that are available to them in science and in technology.
Who run the world? Girls. Woo! We at YOTV believe that everyone should be allowed to follow their passion. There may be challenges or there may be prejudice, but at the end of the day, this is your life and you can't let stereotypes and misconceptions stop us, boys and girls, from doing what we want to do with our careers. So from Limka Johnson, Jessica Timms, and our guests in the studio, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week.
Getting to know you, girl, getting to know your world. Exploring your every curve, learning the lines you serve. Can you let me into your space? I promise that I won't touch, I won't taste. For now, respecting your every move, choosing what not to do. 'Cause I know your real worth, girl.
what a beautiful episode of Blue Couch. We learned so much. Thank you so much to Lumko and Jess, and of course the guests for all that information. Really, really great.
And I think, you know what I took from Blue Couch and what I think is very important, when Jess says the progression of women in science and technology is very slow.
Yeah.
But I think we need to go back in time and think about how when this whole, you know, beings and women and men, you know, the start of everything basically, men were always seen as the providers.
Yes.
So from Stone Age,
they go out hunting,
yes,
and women
because women are only allowed to bear children and stay in the kitchen. So I think we are slowly getting there, but also we cannot even compare because the gap is huge.
Yeah.
If you should,
I mean, already go gymming, guys. Now I can guess it's squatting about 50 kgs. I'm not that.
No, but our testosterone level is not even there. It's not even.
It's not
even there.
But you know what can you guys say about this whole topic in general?
I think on my side, what's important is women, they have the gray matter, which is as compatible as the men's.
Yes.
So what's important is our girls, we just need to turn up. You just need to make sure that you come to the party and you make sure that you give it your all.
Yes.
And again, the world out there is waiting for a person that is going to come up with a new invention, not a man.
Yeah.
It's a person, which could be anyone.
It could
be chicks.
Yeah.
So out there, just make sure that you give it your all, you commit to everything that you do.
Okay, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, like, women need to realize their potential. For example, how many single parents, single women raise children, that's a job. So if they can do it, I think any girl out there, any girl can do anything. You don't have to be, anyone can do it. That's just my opinion.
True. Anyone can do it. So it's everything's doable. You just have to apply yourself, and that's basically what we've been talking about today. Just like right now, here's Alicia Keys with Superwoman, because I am Superwoman.
Nothing.
Yes, I am. Yes, she is. Okay, let's go to it.